everyone, I am Pamela Daya from Betiland IA3A, and for today's video, I am going to show you some of the basic tools and equipment in refrigeration and air conditioning repair. So unfortunately guys, I have only here 9 available tools and equipment here at home. So later, I will be showing it to you one by one, and we're going to understand its function, and we'll be understanding also how to maintain and store those tools and equipment. So before I go to the main discussion of this video, first I am going to show you, or I'm going to give you an insight first on what is the importance of knowing the basic tools and equipment in refrigeration and air conditioning repair. So, as an operator or as a person who do repairs on refrigerator and aircon, it is very important for us or for them to understand or to know the basic tools and equipment for them to as easily identify and address the defect or the damage of the aircon on and the refrigerator. And also being able to know all of those things provides convenience and efficiency to the workers while doing their job. So let's start. So first we'll talk about the wrenches. So the wrench is basically used for loosening or tightening of the bolts and the nuts, and it comes with a variety of sizes and shapes. So unfortunately guys, I have only here 3 available wrenches. This one, and I will be discussing it to you one by one. So first off, we'll discuss this wrench, this type of wrench. So this is called the adjustable wrench. So this is a type of wrench that is an all-purpose wrench and has a parallel flat jaws with no teeth, which is good for preventing damage to the bolt and to the nuts. So the use of this wrench is to provide grips on bolts and nuts according to its size. So in using this type of wrench, you have to adjust this one according to the size of the bolt you want to achieve. So example, I have this kind of bolt. This one bolt. I have this bolt. So I have to adjust the wrench according to this size. I have to adjust that according to this. Here you go. So, and in performing it, you have to slide the wrench side by side. So this is an adjustable wrench. Let's move on to the next type of wrench, which is this one. So this is called the box wrench. So this is used for tightening and loosening the grips of the bolts and nuts, and this type of wrench have an end that encloses the nuts inside the head. So this is how you're going to use this wrench. So I have here an example of a bolt. This one, and you have to insert the head inside the nuts of the bolt. So just like this one. So once the bolt is inside the head of the wrench, you can now move the wrench side by side to have the bolt being removed. So this is called the box wrench. Now move to the next type of wrench, this one. So this is an open wrench. It also used for tightening and loosening of the bolts and nuts too. And this type of wrench have an open end that fits into the fastener of the bolts. So example, this is the bolt, and you have to insert this wrench to the side of the bolt, this one here. So once it's inside, it works by sliding it to the side direction so that you can have the bolt removed. So this is an open wrench. Now at this moment, let's move on to the proper maintenance and storage of this tool. So first is, as an operator, we should always match the size of the wrenches according to the job or the bolt we are working on. Second, we have to keep it clean and away from chemical hazards to avoid it from having a rust. And in storing the wrench, you have to keep it all the wrenches inside the box and store it in a clean and dry place. Let's move on to the next tool, which is called the electrical plier. So this plier is used for working with electricity and other electrical connections. It is also used to cut out or strip away outer coatings of the wires. So as you can observe, it has this plier has a rubber coated handle to help the operators from getting electrical shock. So how are we going to maintain this type of plier? So first is we have to keep it clean and free from grease to avoid electrical shocks while working. And after use, we have to spray an anti-rust spray. So in storing this plier, we have to store it in a box and place it in a safe and clean, dry place. So now let's move on to screwdrivers. So I have only here 2 available screwdrivers. So first, let's discuss what is a screwdriver. So a screwdriver is used for tightening and loosening screws. So first, let's discuss the flat edge screwdriver. So this is a flat edge screwdriver. So as you can observe, the edge of this screwdriver is flat. So this is the most common screwdrivers and is good for working woods as they prevent over tightening. So this one, this is a flat screwdriver. From the word itself, the edge of this driver is flat. So next is the Phillips screwdriver. So this is a Phillips screwdriver that has an edge that shapes like a cross or a star. This one. So this is a type of screwdrivers used for higher tension or twisting. So these are the 2 available types of screwdrivers: the flat edge screwdriver and the Phillips screwdriver. So let's move on to the proper maintenance and storing of this tool. So first is we have to keep all the screwdrivers sharp and clean for a solid grip of the screw, and we have to store it properly and compile all of those screwdrivers in a cabinet or a toolbox and keep it in a safe, dry place. So the next tool will be this one. So this is called the tape measure. It is used for measuring distance and sizes. It is a long flexible ruler that is used by pulling out the tongue, this one, inside the case and hook it to the edge of the object you want to measure. And the standard size of a tape measure ranges from 15 to 50 feet. So for example, if you want to measure the size of this wood, so you have to use the tape measure. So you have to pull out the tongue and place it on the edge of the wood. And you can now have the size of it. This one. Now let's move on to the proper maintenance and storage of the tape measure. So first is you have to keep the tape measure dry and away from water, because the presence of water can cause rust to the tape measure. And in storing the tape measure, you have to keep it in a dry, clean, and away from sunlight, because the heat can trigger the expansion and the stretch of the tape measure. The next tool will be this one. So this is called the carpenter saw or the hacksaw. So this is used for cutting woods, and it's mostly used by people because they have the control of the cutting of the wood while producing a great finish. So in using the carpenter saw, first you have to mark where you want to cut the wood and place the blade on the marker and begin striking to the front direction and the back. And you have to remember that you have to make a stroke one at a time. So this one. So now let's move on to the proper maintenance and storing of the hand saw. So first is we have to keep it clean and dry, lubricate the blade, and sharpen the teeth to ensure its effectivity and durability during the work. And most importantly, in storing the hand saw is you have to keep it hanging using its handle. The next tool will be this one. So this is called a hacksaw. So this is a small cutting saw used for cutting metals, rods, and brackets. This is in a U-shaped frame and is capable of cutting metals neatly. So this is a hacksaw. And using this hacksaw, we're just going to apply the same process we did in cutting the wood. So you have to place a mark on the metal and then place the blade on the metal and strike it to the front direction in the back, and take note to give it a stroke one at a time. So now let's move on to the proper maintenance and storing of the hacksaw. First is we have to keep the blade rigid, sharp, and aligned. Second, we should apply oil and lubricant to the blade. And most importantly, we should store the hacksaw hanging from their handles only. That's it. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you've learned something from it. Have a nice day.